Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Fireside Friday. My name is PJ, and I am your host. So, welcome, guys. Um, for any new, sorry, I'm getting used to a new phone. So, here we go. And let's let Facebook know that we are streaming this evening. So, uh, good evening, Facebook. It's PJ, and as promised, another Fireside Friday is upon us. So, if you want to hang out, ask questions, get answers, all that sort of live stream stuff, hop over to PJ Crouch YouTube and we will see you guys there. So I will talk to you guys soon. Alright, next up is Instagram. And then I will discuss some housekeeping stuff and we will get this party rolling. Okay. Good evening, Instagram. It's PJ. And if you are a friend of mine on Facebook, you will know that tonight is Fireside Friday on my YouTube channel. So if you don't know that but want to hang out in a live stream with me for a little bit, hop over to PJ Crouch YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and you will be a part of this weekly gathering that has ensued. So I hope to see you guys soon. And now I'm gonna focus completely on the live stream. So I will see you guys over there, hopefully. Alright. Good evening. Alright, so we still have 0 viewers, but that is okay. I'm actually going to go, can I share this from over here? No, I can screenshot it. Do, 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 do. Yeah, let's go over. here and share the photo. Uh, uh, okay, new phone. There we go. I'm live, so I'm going to do that. No. Ah, okay. So, live history. Right. Live stream. Okay, there we go. Join me. All right. So that is shared. So let me focus my attention back up here and run over some housekeeping issues right quick before we get too deep into whatever conversations we get into. One right off the bat is as you guys have probably noticed already, I'm a little bit um I'm coughing a little bit tonight. Um I was over the holiday I was sick, so I'm still trying to get over that that this just a little bit. So if I start hacking, um I'm sorry, just bear with me. Um so the next thing is 2 weeks ago when we did our first ever live stream, first ever Fireside Friday chat. We had at one point 6 views at once, which was awesome. Which was totally um more than I expected. So, but um, I noticed that there was a couple of people dropping off, and then my friend Jonathan, who watched the entire thing, um, told me he was having trouble commenting, so he was sending me questions and comments over Facebook Messenger, and I couldn't figure out why he couldn't comment. But I was told by someone that you couldn't comment without a YouTube account, and I checked a little bit earlier. That is not entirely true. Um, you can comment without a Google or without a YouTube account. All you need to do is sign in to your Google Gmail account if you have one. Um, and then you can do that. If you're not, if you don't have one of those, um, but you have me on Facebook, you can message me um, questions and comments, and I'll do exactly what I did 2 weeks ago. I'll read them um, off my phone, and then I will answer the questions or make the comments known on the live stream. And to comment within the live stream, just go to the box where you see my hi popping up right about now. So let me put this on Messenger right quick in case anybody from my Sunday school class wants to watch. Where'd my chat go? Ah. Buddy. Okay, so let's see, what can we talk about tonight? How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Like I said, mine could have been a little bit better. I woke up Thursday morning with a head cold. Um, so that is still, um, I'm not feeling bad, but like I said, I'm still dealing with some effects of um, that. But other than that, it was good. Um, my family and I got up and we watched the Macy's parade like we do every year. And then we ate, and my mom and sister went to work at a local tourist attraction. And I watched college football for the rest of the night. Um, like I have become accustomed to over the last couple years. So, let's see. Um, oh, like I said, I got a new phone. Um, or it's new to me. It's my mom's old phone. My phone was dying and on its last leg. So I got her old one and she got a new one. And that's how we work things till I can pay for a new one on my own. So I've been messing around with that all afternoon. So that's been fun. So, mm, we still have no views, but that is completely fine. Um, like I've said, um, this is not. I don't do this for the views. Um, the views are nice, but they don't have to be there for me to keep doing what I'm doing. So, um, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff lately. Um, as if you've been watching my channel for a while, you guys know that I'm a junior in college. Um, so and my first semester of my junior year ends in about a week and a half. So, um, I'm in a 5 year program, but hitting that midpoint in the junior year is still pretty significant because I'm sitting here going, okay, all my core classes are almost done with, and now it's time to start filling my time with electives and um, all those other fun uh, things. You know what? Why I don't have anybody watching, I'm gonna go grab a water bottle. Um, so if um, um, fuller water bottle, uh, because this one is empty. So, if I had commercials, one would be inserted right here. Okay. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming. Let me take a swig of this first. And we are good. So, as I was saying, I'm at that point in my academic career when I have started thinking about what am I going to do next? Uh, what uh, what are my plans? So, um, from a previous video that I shared a while ago, you guys know that I want to go into full time disability ministry at some point. Um, I just celebrated my 4th year of doing it on an intern basis. I celebrated that the Saturday after our first Fireside Friday live stream. So not last Saturday, but the Saturday before that, I was out at an event, working with the ministry that I work with here in Chattanooga, Lifeline Families dot or Lifeline Incorporated. I'll get in out in a minute. I've been doing that for 4 years, and I was a summer intern for Johnny and Friends, which is a worldwide disability ministry, um, this past summer, which was really cool. But I've been asking myself, uh, what what's next? I know I've got about 2 more years of school left, and I'm totally fine with that. But I'm to the point where I need to start thinking what's after. Um, Plans haven't changed. I want to go into full time ministry. Um, with Johnny and Friends if God opens the doors. If not, then we'll see what happens. But then um I started sharing this part with a few people over the last couple weeks, because over the last couple weeks, um that God has started opening some doors for this part of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and share it here. And if my boss ends up watching this, then she'll already have a heads up. Um, while I was gone with Johnny and Friends this summer, I had the opportunity to um, be the facilitator for some of their summer volunteer training that all the family retreat volunteers, including me, um, have to go through before the family retreat participants even get there. So um, let me back up just a little bit so this will make a little bit more sense. Sorry, gotta take another drink. Okay, so um, if you guys are familiar with Johnny and Friends, then you know what I'm talking about when I say family retreat, training and all that stuff. But if you're not, let me back up a whole lot right quick. Since live streams are unlimited, uh, I have the time to do that. And I'm completely by myself tonight, so I don't have anybody who needs me. Uh, so Johnny and Friends is a ministry that was started by Johnny Erickson Tata. Um, Johnny just turned 60. No, that one. Johnny just had a birthday. Um, and she also just celebrated 50 years in a wheelchair. When she was 17, she was um, hanging out with her family in their home state of Maryland, and she jumped off um, to do a dive into a lake and didn't realize that it was as shallow as it was. So she broke her neck. Fast forward to like 5, 6 years after that, I think she started Johnny and Friends, which is a ministry that she started to minister to families affected by disability, like her, like me. So part of that ministry is they have family retreats all over the world now, um, where families can come and kind of have the summer camp slash vacation experience that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. I did that for, I've done this for, I volunteered um, at now 3 separate family retreats throughout the country um, for this year was my third year. So when I go back next summer, because I'll go back to um, at least one of them next summer. Um, this will be my fourth year. But this year, I served as an intern, which if you watched more recent videos, you've heard me talk a little bit about that. And part of that, my job as an intern, um, well, it wasn't supposed to be part of my job, but it ended up being. Um, I got to do part of their wheelchair safety training for the volunteers that come in and help the families because I pretty much dealt with throughout the summer. We had 43 families. The first family retreat I worked, and we had about 90, if I remember correctly, combined in the last two. So I worked with about 200 families this summer. So we have a lot of volunteers coming in, and some of them have experience, some of them don't. So what Johnny and Friends does is they do pretty much like an in-doc process. The 2 days before the family gets um, to or actually it's a day and a half. It's a full day, and then the families usually get to the site of the family retreat um, after lunch on the second day, and then they're there for 4 or 5 days, depending on how the retreat is set up. So in the day and a half prior to um prior to the family showing up, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Um, we do NDOC for the volunteers. Now, I'd been through NDOC twice before. And I was in I, I was an intern this summer for two separate offices. Um, so I got to help with two indocs. The first one was at a retreat about 45 minutes from my house. So that was kind of funny. I went to Knoxville, which is about hour and a half from my house. Stayed there for a week, worked in the office, helped them get ready, and then um, we came 45 minutes closer to my house. Uh, we came about an hour outside of Knoxville, um, which ended up being about 45 minutes from my house. And there's actually a funny story connected to the distance between my house and where we held the held the family retreat, which I'll talk about in a second. There we go. Water seems to be the only thing that helps this cough. Uh, so, sorry, I'm stopping a lot tonight. So, I got to Knoxville about a day after the main staff. They're like, "You worked really hard for us this week. Um, plus, where you're gonna be staying once we get to family retreat isn't ready yet. So why don't you stay in Knoxville, stay with your host family, chill out, rest up because it's gonna be a crazy week." And anybody who's done Johnny and Friends family retreat either as a family participating or an STM as we're called when we're there, knows regardless of which one you go to, regardless of where it is, they're all crazy. They're all jam packed full of stuff. So, and hopefully over Christmas break, I'll finally get to those videos that I've been promising. That explain a little bit about my experience and the processes I had to go through. Um, but anyway, I got there and was getting checked in, and one of my bosses for the week prior to that in the Knoxville office, Jen McNally, who I'm actually really good friends with everybody I worked with in Knoxville. Now, we kept those relationships open. So, but Jen came and found me. Well, rather, I went and found her and said, "Okay, I'm here. What do you need me to do to help check everybody in?" And she's like, "Oh, you're good, but go find this person. You're gonna help her with wheelchair safety when we break up into concentration groups." But so I said, "Okay, cool." I was hoping that I'd be able to do some training um, while I was there because the ministry I work for here, we do a lot of disability specific and general disability training throughout the community. So I have a little bit of experience. So I go find that person, introduce myself. Jen told me, I'm supposed to help you with training tonight or whenever we get to it. And that person, Heidi, uh, told me, okay, cool. She told me that too, and I was thinking, since you're in the chair, um, I'm just gonna sit and watch and help you field questions. This is now on you. And if anybody has ever had the deer in the headlight look, um, mine was probably 10 times normal at that point because doing training wasn't outside my norm. I've helped with hundreds and hundreds of trainings over my last 4 years of being an intern for a local ministry, but my boss hasn't handed me a training yet and said, okay, I'm gonna be over here, but you're gonna be the one doing it. So I took a breath. We did what we needed to do. As a big group, and then we broke off. And Heidi and I went to the gym on campus where we were, and um, I, she's like, okay, how do you want to do this? Meaning, how do I want to break up um, the training that we did because I did wheelchair safety. So they needed to know, okay, this is what most of your wheelchairs have. This is the difference between a power and a manual chair. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. This is what you do if it rains. This is what you do if it doesn't rain. Um, this is what you do if something breaks. So, from the time I found out that I was doing this to the time I actually ended up doing it was probably about 2.5 hours. So while we're going through training, I'm sitting in the back going over what I might want to say, might want to do in my head. um, so we get there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get out of my chair, and so they can see what it looks like because my chair is not one size fits all, but it will at least cover the basics. These are the wheels, these are the brakes. In order for the wheels to stop moving, the brakes need to be forward. These are the handlebars, that sort of thing. So I got out of my chair and did those trainings, and everything went off without a hitch. Um, so later that evening, after we sort of wrapped up, I went to maybe it was the next day when we were getting ready for families to show up. Um, I get to, I go to my boss. I go to Jen again, and say, okay, you weren't in there, so how, what did people say? And the area director, the area director for both the offices I worked with, um, was at camp with us that week. And she goes, you must have done pretty well because Jim, the area director, who I'd met the night before for the first time after months and months of hearing his name as I was getting ready and all that stuff. Um, Jim wants you to do the same thing in uh, 3 weeks or 2 weeks when you do Charlotte family retreats. He wants you to do it both weeks you're there because Charlotte's family retreat is so big that we had to split it up into 2 weeks. So um, I get to do that for the majority of my summer. In fact, my YouTube icon picture um, is me actually on the floor doing that training in Knoxville at family retreat for the Knoxville office. Um, so, um, but how does that tie into what I'm about to say? Well, before I left, um, I got to work with my church's VBS for the second straight year. That's always fun. Um, because I work with our children's ministry at church on a I'm in the normal rotation for one of our programs for our disability um, awareness program, I guess you could call it, um, that we allow families who have disabled kids to bring their kids to like a Sunday school class, and then the parents can go to church. I work with them once a month. On top of helping usher or just roam the halls to make sure everything is copacetic at church. So I've been toying with the idea once I got back of how could I possibly tie in my job as a special needs ministry intern into maybe writing a program or a workshop that we could do at work to show churches and families and other disabled people like me that just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't serve for your church or at church or in a setting like um, Johnny and Friends because we had a bunch, or not a bunch, but we had some um, disabled STMs in Charlotte. We didn't, uh, alright, yeah, we had we technically we had an honorary disabled STM in at our family retreat in Knoxville. My friend Charles, he helps with the transportation golf carts every year. So he found a way to serve. Um, I serve at church. My boss's daughter serves at their church um, every once in a while. So there's opportunities to serve um, for the disabled church members to serve out there. But sometimes if they don't know how to ask or that they even can ask, they don't. I know there's certain areas in my life where I don't ask, even when I know I can. It's just something having a disability, brings is sometimes you don't ask and sometimes you ask too much. Or sometimes you ask in areas where you can't do anything, and sometimes you don't ask in areas where there's lots of things you can do. So I've been toying with that idea for a while, and then in one of my classes that I finish up next week, my professor, I had said something in a discussion board post that we were working on, and my professor said, "Hey, why don't you develop a training program for disabled church members to help them find out and know how to serve in the opportunities that are around them in their church or in their community?" And I went, hmm, I've been toying with this idea, but then yet again, I really didn't think anything of it. Um, so over the next couple months, I'm hoping to talk to my boss and get something rolled out where we can do that. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life, and because nobody is on here tonight, and I'm coughing, starting to cough a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead, go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. But once again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. Read them and get back to them. Either make a video about them and give you a shout out in the video, or I will just answer them straight back to you in the comment section. And don't forget to tune in next week for another Fireside Friday.